This was back in 1982. I was still a relatively young lawyer trying to make it in the law practice, support a family. And one Friday night here in Seattle, I went to a church service and heard a speaker called Juan Carlos Ortiz. And I just distinctly remember how he stopped in his tracks and talked about having read in the newspaper that morning that the United States government was sending hundreds of millions of dollars to the Central American countries to buy weapons. There were civil wars going on, very brutal civil wars, in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, and they were all about land. And he said, what a shame, because with that kind of money, you could buy up all the land in Central America for the poor. For the poor people in the Central American countries, land is at the foundation of economic well-being. So if you own your own land, there's hope. Went home that night and wrote a concept paper, just various ways of obtaining land for the poor. I had friends who said, why don't you help the poor in Seattle? Aren't there enough poor people in Seattle to help? Why would you want to go to Guatemala? But I had a bit of what Jeremiah wrote about, this fire burning in his bones. That's what I felt. This is an idea I could not get rid of. It pursued me. I couldn't get it out of my mind. Land reform was really just the province of governments around the world. And I thought, why can't we do it privately? In our first trip to the Shield Triangle, the indigenous people that I met had fled the violence. The poverty was generational, not just a few generations. This was poverty going back hundreds of years to the time when the Spanish conquistadors came in and took land, vast swaths of land away from the indigenous peoples. That kind of poverty creates a sense of despair that is unspoken but always present. And we had to defeat that despair in people.
Desde el año 82 me despedí con mi familia y salí con las personas que se fueron en la montaña.
Mis padres tenían que huir. Llegó un tiempo que ya no tenía comida, ya no tenían que comer.
Lo mataron así, personas, mujeres, hombres, niñas, mujeres embarazadas, ancianos y ancianas. Cualquier así persona lo encuentra, lo matan. Llegaron a las 6 de la mañana, lo quemaron, personas en la casa. Pero mi mamá se murió así como pura arma de fuego. Entró la bala aquí en el corazón y de pronto salió así en la espalda.
La violencia fue muy duro. Muchos paisanos nosotros se murieron. Gracias a Dios vivimos.
Solo oración no mane, solo oración no mane.
Agros works with the poorest people in the world and in some of the most difficult areas in the world. At Agros, we go to a country in Latin America and we buy, with the help of donors here, large tracts of land. We look for the poorest families that live in those areas and we buy them to come to the property. We help them build their homes. We build schools and they started their own agricultural business. So over 7-8 years, with the profit of their business, they can pay back the land and become owners. But poverty is complex, it's multidimensional. Therefore, we need to provide a solution that can see a family holistically on their needs.
Agros is nonprofit, but it's a business. You cannot run a nonprofit, and especially doing the work we're doing, without thinking through business. All of the business that is involved in commerce, buying and selling land, planting, harvesting, selling, marketing, getting around middlemen and going straight to the market yourself.
When a family joins an Agros village, they get an opportunity to understand the facets of business, break the cycle of poverty.
There's no dignity in just being the recipient of gifts. The dignity is from their hard work to pay off the land. You look on their faces, you see the sense of dignity. We are someone now because I own my own land.
Agros is going after Jesus's call to love the poor. And in this case, love isn't just send your money. In this case, love is coming alongside to support the individual and the family in really envisioning a better future for themselves.
Yo nací en una aldea muy lejana, que ahí mi papá solo tenía un terreno pequeño, solo es un poquito el terreno. Y ahí él no tenía un trabajo, no tenía mucho terreno para sembrar, luego cosechar. Pero cuando nosotros venimos aquí, se organizó la gente, más la ayuda de Agros, compraron un terreno.
Entonces, pero al fin está consumir noticia de Agros.
Batek alas tulu si batal balu atil malu lugar sa hachpi utsunya tu aldea sa hachashi unche te cuento Agros.
Agro va, compró terreno y nos repartió. No somos capaces de comprar terreno porque no hay dinero. Pero gracias al Agro ya vivimos aquí. Ya somos gente de aquí.
Mi taonine solo oya itek bati antiu bati balbat cuando batek ulinsa sa tek hachpuch abat hachpuch lugar che bati an conocer vi lugar vi lote che shete con loche mi taonine.
Sembramos arveja y trabajamos juntos y lo mantenemos bien y sale buena cosecha. Con eso siempre sí él nos ha levantado la familia.
Pues eche enas chunchunchan ve achan in tsa asmas chunchuntiu Fundación Agros Pate tantis de chaki kati atinu chum ale katan shilal chaki kati lok chaku trabaye. No sé cam la vale mil veces la valú tantis de Fundación Agros hasta que la camin las otras Agros se atuan shilal porque ilin atintu trabaye.
A family who was extremely poor. And over a period of time, they moved from extreme poverty to the capacity to inherit land, a business, and education for their kids. Our model takes time, but is holistic and comprehensive, which means that we can provide a long-lasting solution for poverty.
Agros ayudó mucho a que esta comunidad siguiera adelante, que ellos siguieran estudiando en la universidad.
8 ninchos primero. No saben agradecer, no tienen esperanza. No saben familia, no saben trabajo. Mi nombre es María Córdoba Sánchez. Cuando marca y la vez yo trabajo.